Feels so late. I think I missed my own show. Can you miss your own show? What happened to the Mr. Rogers show on the day when Mr. Rogers went out partying the night before and slept in and was late? Wonder if they had a stand-in for Mr. Rogers. I doubt they had a stand-in for Mr. Rogers. I doubt he ever partied the night before or was late. Not that Mr. Rogers was perfect. But anyway, good morning. Who's that, Kevin? Good morning, Kevin. How are you? I don't know. Am I going to wear my sunglasses? Am I going to wear my sunglasses? I may wear my sunglasses. I'll be a man of mystery this morning. Unless I change my mind and take them off and become less mysterious. I'm wearing this fine Illinois hat that was sent by an anonymous giver. Anonymous giving's kind of fun. Kind of makes you, the person receiving it, wonder, I wonder who sent that to me. Do I have a secret admirer? Is it somebody I know? Who is it? So it's kind of fun. Hi, RJ. Maverick sent it? How does RJ know that Maverick sent it? Oh, RJ's wondering. Maverick has thrown out the ILL-INI thing a couple times. I don't know if Maverick has any connection to Illinois. I would feel funny giving great gratitude to Maverick, not knowing it's him, but if it was him, thank you, my man. Oh, Maverick keeps coming with the ILL. How's it look on me? I think it looks good. I think it feels good. I think it's kind of fun. I have two hats out here now, a USA hat, which I like a whole lot, that also feels good, that I bought in the lovely downtown in Naperville about a year back. And now I have my Illinois hat, and the Illinois hat's kind of fun because I'm coming at you from Yellowstone, and a lot of us, or not a lot of us, all of us come from different parts of the country, sometimes different parts of the world, and our name tags have our name, Ken, and then below it says Illinois on it. Some people think Illinois is my last name. It's not my last name. My last name's Tracy. But anyway, I like having the hat because it's bright orange. It's got the I for Illinois, for University of, and the state where I'm from. It feels good. Feels real good. Good morning from Waco, Texas. Let me see. The fires aren't blowing smoke your way. Well, I don't know. I bet they kind of are. I don't really know anything about the news. People were saying we're having fires around here or up in Montana, or I was in Bozeman last weekend, and people were saying there were fires going on, but I really don't watch the news. Yeah, except what little clips you get from the internet. And we kind of got a haze over there. Usually the sky's a little bluer. I mean, I guess it's pretty blue off that way. Let's look. Let's look which way color it is off that way. See, it's still bright and blue. But there's still a little something going on in the air, I think, that's causing the sun's light to get spread out that way. Anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Friday morning. It is 8:12 a.m. and it is July 19th. Happy Friday. This might be, I don't know if it's a world record late start for my recent edition of Coffee with Ken, but it sure feels good being out here with the sun up over the mountain and a good night's sleep behind me. And not working the breakfast shift this morning at the restaurant, which is right over there. I don't know I do know. A lot of waiters kind of get stressed. I was surprised. A kid that trained me, who's like 20 years old for this restaurant, I thought was just kind of friendly and affable. His name's Matt. And I thought he always had it under control. And I thought I was the only one that gets stressed waiting tables. And he opened up to me a couple weeks ago, and it continued on. That he goes, "No, every shift, I feel totally out of control. I don't know what." I'm making up the words, but it was kind of nice to hear others get stressed, and because it can be stressful. Hello, is that Taryn? Hello, Taryn. How are you? A lovely young lady from Ohio just hopped on my show, and she is a hostess slash barista slash all-around good girl with the mostest that works here, and it was one of the first young people I met when I came to Yellowstone, and walked into the restaurant incognito, wanted to scout out where I'd be working, and her and another lovely young lady named Raven were the hostess, and they said they were the dream team of hostesses. I liked their moxie. I kind of looked around, got the lay of the land, thought it'd be a good place to work, and it was nice meeting them. So hi, Taryn. Good morning, happy Friday. Hey, Wanda, how are you? I still see these requests to be in my video. What if I hit view request? Am I going to lose you if I hit view request? Go live? No, but see, I don't want to go live with anybody. I don't want to split screen, go live with anybody. Could get some crazy person on there. Distracting from the typical quality show I do with the deep meaning content. People want to talk to you. Well, that's so nice that people want to talk to me. They can talk to me. I hope they get in. Mom sent a request to be in your live video. Okay. Wait, men or mom? Men sent a request? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Wanda is fantastic. It is good to hear from you. It's not that hard to hear from me. All you got to do is hop on live on the mornings. Usually, I'm here at about 5:45 a.m. I mean, not usually, probably just about half the time. Because I get to work the breakfast shift about 3 days a week at my dining room. And when you work the breakfast shift, it starts at 6:15. So I usually do a pretty abbreviated version of my show. And I tell you what, I'm kind of tired. And it felt really good. Woke up a couple times during the night. Last time I woke up was 5:19, or not last time, second to last time. And my heart was kind of going. I went down to the washroom, go do a communal bathroom, which is fun. And came back up, realized I was still in a deep haze, and I did not want to start my day in a deep haze, I'll tell you that. So I went back up, laid back in bed, and had 2 more hours of beautifully heavenly sleep. Woke up and the sun was out, and I still laid in bed for another 20 minutes, just relaxing in the glorious feeling of I don't have anywhere I have to be. So I'm just going to enjoy the gift that is my bed, and enjoy the gift of a quiet morning, and enjoy kind of some peace and quiet laying in bed. But anyway, this is a show about me talking, and it's a show I've done for quite some time. But for those that have been watching a while, you know, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, oh yes, it is time for my very first sip of coffee. I think coffee doesn't really impact me. I think this is kind of the way I am, caffeinated. I mean, I haven't had coffee yet, and I've just rambled here for 12 or 13 minutes. And I think my personality doesn't change a whole lot. Sure, it might pick up 1% or so of pace. But yeah, I don't think the coffee does a whole lot. However, I still look forward to my first sip. And my hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. I'll tell you what, it's cafeteria coffee. One thing the cafeteria does well is makes the coffee nice and hot. So let's have another sip. I might have to change angles. I'm going to have to change angles. So this is going to be a dual angle show. It's a special show, a special edition. I'll probably get extra huge viewership for the specialness of the show. Got to take those off too. Ken, do you remember the 1989 Flying Illini team? Do I ever? Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill, Kenny Battle. Urban Small was on it, but he wasn't a starter. Lowell Hamilton and Kenny Battle, Kendall Gill, Nick Anderson, Lowell Hamilton. Who's our point guard? Oh, guy from Alton, Illinois. Drawing a blank on his name right now, but a point guard from Alton, Illinois. Yeah, great team, fun team. A bunch of guys that could run up and down the court, all between maybe 6'3" on the short side to 6'8" was the tallest, and could run and jump like nobody's business. And it was just a great, great basketball team. And it was a fun time to be at school. Kenny Battle and you played together. I wonder if that was at West Aurora. Larry Smith. Thank you, Maverick. Larry Smith was his name. Yeah, from Alton, Illinois. And then they had a few other, what was the guy's name? The tall guy from Chicago, King High School. He was number 1 rated player in the high school the year before. Marcus Liberty. They had a lot of great players, and was a fun team, and was probably one of the most memorable teams in college basketball, even though they didn't win the championship or even make it to the championship game that year. Sometimes you're almost better known when you lose a heartbreaking game. And it probably wasn't heartbreaking up in Ann Arbor in the Final Four when Michigan beat us. But let me tell you, at Champaign-Urbana, it was heartbreaking. I had a good friend named Julio. I was watching that final game, inebriated heavily, like most college kids probably were down there, and with a bunch of my friends in their apartment. And my buddy Julio punched a hole into the drywall when they lost that game. So that's what I got about that. Let's drink some more coffee. Oh, well, Maverick, thank you so much for this hat. I very much appreciate it. It was very sweet. I'm liking it a lot. I woke up late today. I often don't wear hats, although that's probably not a good idea. As a bald man and up at altitude where the sun, I think, is more intense, you got to be careful, and you got to cover up as much as you can, and often don't wear hats and go out early. But since I got started a little late today, I thought it'd be a good idea if I popped on this hat. Wasn't me. All right. Well, that's all right. Well, thank you. And a double dose of thank you to whoever it was. That sent me this anonymous hat. This very cool anonymous hat that is adjustable. And it's kind of important as a bald man with a big head to have an adjustable hat. Again, I've shopped for various cowboy hats, and I don't think it could be me. I don't think so. I just don't think so. Because I don't feel like a cowboy in any stretch. I think there's some people that rock it well and wear it well. And although I probably would look cool in it, I don't know that I would ever feel that comfortable. I'd feel kind of like a tourist or a poser, somebody acting like a cowboy that's not. Sent a request to be in my video. I don't understand, again, what that means. I think it could. Somebody's saying, I think I could wear it. But again, I travel light. I travel light. I was talking to some people last night. Had a nice evening last night, a long day of work. Oh, it was a long day, let me tell you. Started at 6 a.m. Not that crazy long, actually. It was just a lunch or a dinner or a breakfast and lunch shift. Starting at 6 and ending at 4:30, so not crazy long. But the lunch was intense. Let me tell you, it was intense. It felt like a dinner shift. I had a full section. And at lunch, they're kind of a little shorter staffed because they don't expect as big of a rush. So you don't have as much backup and support as you would at dinner. And I had a full shift or full section that was keeping me running. For me, it was a lucrative shift, which was nice for lunch. It was the biggest lunch shift I've ever had as far as money. But what I've come to realize just about, and I've talked about this before, is I think the healthiest attitude to have as a waiter is really not worry about the amount of tips you get on a given night or the amount of tips a table sends you. Yes, you can be grateful, and yes, you can be appreciative. But it's just so easy to get bummed out on a hard night or a slow night or a night where you have more challenging tables or what have you. And as I've said before, what I've realized, if I come in with a good attitude every day and work hard and I'm on time and do my best, my paychecks I get every 2 weeks are really big. And, I mean, not really big, don't think they're huge. But they're fairly big, and they allow me to cover my financial responsibilities and save a little bit of money, which is my goal out here. And part of accomplishing my goal is making it through the hard days and the good days and the indifferent days. And I think the best way to do that is kind of not rate them so much. And it's so easy to do because we might get, 20 tables a night, and one table might stiff you and not give you a tip, and one table might be fun and generous. But if you get too bent out of shape at the bad stuff that happens at the restaurant or in life, a lot of times you're not in a good enough mood to appreciate the good customers or smell the roses or appreciate all the blessings we have that are in front of us every day. How long will I be there leaving before winter? I'll talk about that real briefly. My contract goes to October, but I have a higher duty calling me in that I want to get back to my kids as soon as possible. So if an opportunity opens up for me to get back to Chicago a little quicker, I'm going to do it. And what an opportunity would need to look like for me is a job in a nice enough restaurant. And I say a restaurant, yes, I have a finance degree, and yes, I've been in sales, and yes, I've done various careers in my life. But finding the right one takes a lot of searching and a lot of time and a lot of stuff. And you can find a fairly good paying waiter's job more quickly that can start paying you that night, the first night you're working. And because of that, that would be very attractive to me, and I could get home and be with my kids as soon as possible. Mason Sabika is hiring. Favorite menu item at the restaurant is the lamb chops. I've never actually eaten them. But I think the lamb chops come with 4 or 5 chops, and it's a lot of meat and looks really good. The pork chop looks really good. New York strip looks really good because it's a steak. Filet. Never one for a filet. A petite filet. That means small. Can I speak Spanish? Un poco. Yeah, no, I can. I do fairly well with Spanish. I work with a lot of, not so much at this restaurant, to be honest with you, but I've worked in various restaurants that seem to hire a lot of Hispanohablantes, Mexicanos. And because of that, the Spanish I learned in high school and 1 year in college, I get to brush up on a lot. And I think it's fun practicing. And I like to practice my Spanish any chance I get. And yeah, any mac and cheese on the menu. Well, Jack Taylor, there's a lobster mac and cheese on the menu that I hear is good, but I have not tried. And that's it. Uncle Julio's and Fogo de Chao are hiring. I didn't think I could do this, and I'm just going to throw this out. We have a nice restaurant in Naperville called Hugo's Frog Bar. And I considered putting in an application there before I left, but I didn't have the confidence in myself as a waiter at the time. Combined with the fact that housing was expensive in Naperville and I could live here for $500 a month. But after working just about 2 months at the restaurant, I realized I'm not perfect as a waiter, far from it, and there's better, but I'm pretty darn good. And I think whatever restaurant hired me would be lucky to have me. And I don't say that with cockiness, I just say that with realization that I'm hardworking and friendly and try my best every day. And I think I'd be an asset to any restaurant in Naperville. And I think a place like Hugo's would be cool for me. I don't know if they're hiring, but Hugo's has the best steak, RJ says. I don't know. But I think that would be a good scene for me. I think they'd like my experience, also known as gray in the beard and baldness in the head, and have a more, I guess, expensive menu, and might appreciate the sophistication, whatever sophistication this guy in front of you could bring to the table. But we'll see. So if one of those opened up, I would apply and go back sooner because I want to be with my kids. And I FaceTime them every day, and I text with my big girls most days. But I got my oldest is heading off to college, and my second daughter is heading off to her sophomore year in high school, and my little nugget of love, Augie, is just being my little nugget of love, and I'd like him to go to preschool this year, but we're not sure about that. And my youngest is Eve, and she's coming up on her second birthday, and she's learning how to talk, and I want her dad being as involved as possible in that time, because that's a special time. Yes, there is a Sullivan's Steakhouse. But, a lot of nice restaurants in Naperville that would probably cover my financial needs. Again, I was up in Bozeman last week, and I was talking to them, and they do real well in the summer, but it's a little slower in the winter, and I was talking with management, and I was being very open and honest about my needs, because you might as well be. And my needs are, real. And they weren't so sure during the winter months that it would, their job would provide enough. So I think the jobs in Naperville probably would. We're the same age, and I have a 3-year-old grandson. Well, Maverick, that's fairly crazy. And you're 56 for the record. I'm still 55. For about 3 more weeks. How's the rental market in Naperville? Well, I'll say it's expensive like everywhere. When I last had my home, I was paying at the time $1,800 a month for a 2-bedroom home, but it was probably a perfect little place for me. But after switching careers and having 2 divorces, it was more than I could afford. And I'd say it's probably better than Bozeman because it's a town of 150,000 people. And with a town of 150,000 people, there's just a lot of real estate. There's a lot more homes. And so the Bozeman market is probably similarly priced, but less opportunities. And I think the rental market, I could find a 1-bedroom somewhere between that would be okay for $1,600, I'll bet, in hello from London, in Naperville. So that's a guess. And it wouldn't be a fancy 1-bedroom or super nice, but any place, when you're living in a dorm, and I'm fortunate to have it. It worked out great, and I'm not moaning or bitching, but I'm just being real. When you're living in a dorm and you have to walk down a flight of stairs to go to the bathroom, the cost of Brenda says the cost of health insurance is crazy, and she's looking for something more affordable. Can you share what you have? I've looked endlessly. I'll tell you, I'll share what somebody was discussing. There's a lot of programs, and I don't even know what they're called. Co-ops, maybe? I don't know. My sister was involved. She's a born-again Christian, or a very Christian woman, and I think there's a lot of faith-based, I don't want to use the wrong word, but it might be co-op life insurance. And where everybody contributes on a monthly basis. And I know my sister was pleased with it. And I know it worked real well for her. And I know one of the guys I work with was discussing it yesterday at dinner, and I gave 2 thumbs up to that concept because I know my sister was pleased. So I would look up like faith-based insurance or Christian-based insurance, because that's what my sister was doing and was pleased with it. Will they house me in the restaurant housing in Naperville? No, Midwestern Mama, I don't think they do that in Naperville. It hasn't come to that across the country, and I don't really want to be housed in restaurant housing because, again, a roof over your head's a blessing, so I'm not saying it's not. But I'd like my own place with my own TV and my own remote control and my own little kitchen where I could cook my own food and have my little nugget of love, Augie and little Eve, stay over. Ideally, I would have an RV that we could live in. But I'm not there yet. So that's where I'm at. You're welcome, Brenda. So, what else do I have for you? I got a couple other things. It's fun. I get to talk slow today. Hello, Karen Scott. Thank you for joining. Hello, Edward Carlos. And you are so welcome, Brenda. Last night, and granted, I'd worked the dinner shift, the breakfast shift, and then the lunch shift. And I know most of you probably don't think waiting tables is that hard. And if I say waiting tables is hard, I get people going, oh, you should be that guy. There's so many harder jobs. Whatever. I know there's harder jobs. But it doesn't make it wrong for me to say that it can be hard. So anyway, I worked the dinner shift 2 nights ago, the breakfast shift yesterday morning, and the lunch shift, which meant I was in that restaurant for 18 of 24 hours. Running around, fairly stressed, bringing food, and on my feet for 18 of 24 hours. So when my shift finished at about 4:30 last night, when I got out of there and the last customer left and I got all my side work done, I was in a state of brain fog. And a couple waiters that I'd worked the lunch shift with were having dinner, and I was going to go home and take a nap right away, but they were serving fried chicken in the cafeteria. And I like fried chicken. It does hurt my body, Carol. Hello from England. Well, thank you, Dave. What was I saying? Oh, but anyway, I like fried chicken, and they were serving fried chicken in the cafeteria, and I decided rather than go home and may or may not eat later, I'd indulge in a little bit of fried chicken. So I sat there and kind of hung out with a couple of buddies I work with for a while, and we were all feeling a little tired, and kind of after about an hour of just sitting there, we kind of all straggled off to our own direction. I hurried home and showered and went to the map room. I edited some videos last night, and at about, 7:30 or so, 8 o'clock maybe, I was tired. I was ready to go to bed, and I started walking home, and one of the buddies I'd been having dinner with texted and said, hey, they're playing bags or cornhole in front of our dorm. You want to play? And I was going, oh my gosh, all I want to do is go to sleep. And he was out there, another guy I work with, and a couple other employees were playing, and I decided I'd be very limited social and sat on the bench and kind of watched them play and kind of chatted a little bit. Oh, I know. I wanted to watch the Republican National Convention because Trump was talking. I wanted to see how Trump did, and that was what I envisioned for my night, drifting off to political speeches as I went to sleep. And they were playing, and I was watching, and Hulk Hogan talked, and the guy from MMA talked, and Melania Trump talked, and then Trump's kid talked, and then Trump came out on stage and was talking, and I'm watching the bags, and I'm hearing Trump. And Trump was, I thought, bored me. I thought he bored me. He's not a great dynamic speaker. And I say that as a guy that's voted for him twice and considers himself slightly right of center and likes to avoid political talk whenever I can. But I thought Trump's speech, I don't know, he was going through the assassination attempt from the week before, and no doubt not a significant event in our history and certainly in that man's life. But his retelling of the story, I thought kind of turned me off a little bit. So, about 5 or 10 minutes into his speech, I said, hey, my life would be better off turning off. And it's not political, and I'll just tell you, I'm still going to vote that way. But turning him off and going to play bags with some friends. Just turning him off and going to play bags with some friends. And I'm not making any political statement. I will make a political statement in a moment. But my thought was, I talk about being lonely here a little bit and not having enough to do. And I had some buddies that I like and some I work with that were playing bags. And I was listening to a political speech on my phone with an earphone in, and they were playing bags. So I decided to brush off the crusty, negative attitude and stuff and play some bags with my friends. I did not play well. Bags is not a strong suit. There's a guy named Gordon who's a buddy of mine that I work with, and I like to think I'm better than him at most things, but he crushed me in bags. I don't like to be crushed. He beat me 21-5. I'm competitive. I do not like losing. But if you get crushed, it's almost not that bad. Because it wasn't even competitive. He was much better than me. Any idea what the Blues should do? You mean the Democratic Party? And again, this isn't political. I just said Trump bored me. I believe Trump lost the 2020 election in that first debate when he was so underwhelming in his debate with Biden. And all Trump could do in that first debate was go blah, 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 and talk over Biden when he should have been able to verbally crush him. And right now, I'll just say, all right, what should the Blue do? And I think it's ridiculous that Biden is on the ticket. And I feel bad saying it. I'm not mocking him. But the office of the President of the United States takes a strong man or woman that has his full cognitive facilities. And Biden is not that. And everybody knows it. And I'm saddened by the state of politics that, maybe Trump will be fine, but he's not a great speaker. I long for speeches from, and this is going to sound like an old man, from Kennedy or Obama or Reagan that touch me and that motivate me and I didn't watch Trump's whole speech. But I'll tell you what, at a hotel in Bozeman a week or two ago, I did watch Reagan's speech during the 1980. It was being replayed during the Republican convention back in 1980, and I'll tell you what, that guy could give a speech. Obama could give a speech. Kennedy could give a speech. And yeah, granted, this is tough competition I'm talking about. This is tough competition I'm talking about. But given the fact that I agree with more things, I'm right of center. I don't know. Just his style didn't impress me. And for the Democratic Party to bring out Biden, you know, certainly, you know, he should bow out gracefully, I think. Did I watch Vivek's speech? No, I didn't. And Vivek can give a speech. Clinton could give a speech. Clinton could give a speech. Vivek can give a speech. I was kind of hoping. I don't know who J.D. Vance is, really. I know he's a senator from Ohio. I don't know much about him, though. But Vivek got me excited about the Republican ticket. And early on, once Trump won the primaries, there was some talk about Vivek being a vice president candidate. And I would have liked to have seen that. Because Vivek's a young guy. I hope I'm not wrong. I believe he's Indian American. There's a large Indian population in America, and it's growing. He's a bright guy, a smart guy, a successful businessman, and I don't know, he motivated me, and he might say some things that are out there to some other people, but he says a lot of things that, motivate me or inspire me. And I would have liked to have seen him on the ticket. And I will bet you we see him, his days in politics aren't over. I remember before, a couple of years ago, seeing him on CNBC because he was a successful businessman and very outspoken. And he said a lot of things that most people would be afraid to say because he's not a typical politician. And I thought that was good. And I'll just tell you, Biden is a typical politician who's past his prime. Trump's not a typical politician, which I kind of find endearing. And again, I voted for him twice. But I've always kind of thought and known he was a little bit of a blowhard. I like how I can mutually offend. And I'm not trying to make this political at all. I had one guy say how upset he was that I talked politics and said how I shouldn't have because he lost me as a follower. I love when people comment that they're going to leave me. If you want to leave me, you don't have to comment or tell me. You can just go. But anyway, those are my thoughts on politics. And again, I wasn't that inspired, and I thought my evening was better spent playing bags with some buddies than listening to political speeches. I don't know how the rest went, and granted, I didn't give it a full opportunity, and maybe he turned the tone around. But I thought duty called, and duty was the call of duty for me was playing bags with some friends over listening to Trump talk any longer. Well, Maverick, thank you for being a lifer. Not thank you for sending this hat. Do I have anything else for you? I kind of got excited because people were mentioning restaurants in Naperville that are hiring. And I don't have anything really planned today. And I'll tell you, it feels good to be 8:47 in the morning and not working today or not working tomorrow and be able to rest my body, maybe get a workout in, but at least not be standing on my feet for 18 hours. Supposedly, Biden is stepping down from election and not endorsing Harris tomorrow. I got some friends that are Democrats for sure. I mean, I got hopefully friends of all. I think they should. And believe me, my mom died of Alzheimer's 4 years ago. So I'm not mocking Biden. I'm not saying it's not about that. It's not about that. He shouldn't be president. There's just no way. There's just no way. Unless you think a guy rubber stamping what the party tells him to do is a president. But he shouldn't be president. There's just no way. I got far left friends, and I don't think they could make any argument that Biden should be president, other than they hate Trump. And that's not a good enough argument. Dick is in Oak Brook. Is Blue Sky still in Naperville? I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, I'd go anywhere in the western suburbs. Ideally, I would love to have an RV. And I've been reading and watching some videos that RV's life is not as cheap as people think. But if I got a Class B RV, and I think things happen for a reason, a Class B Ford Transit just drove by. God telling me maybe I should get a Ford Transit. I'm a little bit of a brand snob. I think having a Mercedes Sprinter would be cool. I reached out to a guy. I told everybody. I looked at an RV a month or so ago. A guy here's selling it, but he's not really selling it. He's entertaining offers. He's trying to tease people. He still drives it every day. So because of that, he's not a motivated seller. And I think if you're looking to buy something, you're a lot better buying something from a motivated seller. And this guy still loves his minivan and has a ton of miles. It was affordable, even for me. But I think he was asking more than he should have because he loved it and he didn't want to sell it. And if you're out there, you're looking to buy something, you don't buy from somebody that doesn't want to sell it, unless you're willing to pay more than it's worth. And I don't have a budget for that. So I've been on Facebook Marketplace, and I reached out to a gentleman that had a reasonably low mile Mercedes Sprinter that he was asking $54,000 for. And I don't have anywhere near that. And I don't think I could finance that. But I did send him an indication of interest and asked a question or two. And now he's following up with me. And I'll tell you what, as a buyer, it's good having sellers following up with you. Makes them more flexible. And the season, we're coming into August. The RV season's probably slowing down, but I'm not looking for it for just a guy to take camping trips or what have you. I'm looking for it as a main vehicle that can also get me around. And although I'd like the utility of a bigger RV like a Class C, I need the mobility that comes in one of these conversion vans where I could have a bed, maybe a small bathroom, a little kitchenette, and still get 18, 19, maybe miles to the gallon, something like that. And drive in and enjoy and feel like it's a regular car and attach my scooter to the back one way or the other and drive me back to Naperville and be close to my kids and be able to enjoy my children and work hard there and bring the same work attitude or work ethic and attitude that I brought here to Yellowstone to a restaurant in Naperville area. And it doesn't have to be Naperville. It could be St. Charles, or it could be Geneva, or it could be Downers Grove even. But there's a lot of nice restaurants in that area that I think I could do really, really well at and could continue to cover my financial obligations and set me up in either a little apartment or an RV. And either way, that sounds really exciting to me because I miss my kids and I want to get back to my kids as soon as possible. And I'm fortunate to be here and I get paid well and housing's cheap and there's nothing to spend money on and the scenery is beautiful. But my kids are more beautiful and I miss them a lot. And I'm looking forward to getting back to them. So, let's drink a little coffee. So I'm looking forward to my day. Might get online, get on Indeed, which is a little app, and send out applications. If I was in town, I would walk into these various restaurants and say, are you hiring? Because I think most places are hiring. Looking for the right person. If I was an employer of in any business, I'd always be hiring. You can always use somebody good. And you can always use somebody good and motivated and hardworking and with a positive attitude. You know, so I'd walk in and I think I could have a job today. I don't want to get thinking that way because it'll get me hopping on my scooter, riding home today. And I got some work to do here. I'm on the schedule next week. I got a lot of money to make and a lot of work to do next week, and more money to save and be in a better position. And every day I work here is good for me financially, but hard for me emotionally, just because I'm away from my kids. And can't wait to see them. But I know I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see giving Augie a kiss and giving him a squeeze. And Eve's probably going to be a little scared of me at first because she hasn't seen her dad in 2 months outside of FaceTime. And that'll be hard for me, but I'm sure we'll do just fine. And she's going to love her dad, and her dad is going to love the stuffing out of her. And that's where I need to be. But for the meantime, at least for today and tomorrow and next week, I need to be here working hard and having a good attitude. And that's what I'm going to do today. And I hope you're feeling good today. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. Hope you had a great night's sleep, because I would tell you what, it feels so good to get a great night's sleep. Hope you're excited about your Friday. You're enjoying your hot coffee. You're feeling good. You're loving yourself. You're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.